In our previous videos in the Urban Land Governance series, we covered land regularization, ownership and titling in depth. However, we haven't yet gone into the basics of what registration of land or property in India entails. The main legislation governing the registration of land in India is the Registration Act 1908. The Registration Act is an act used to consolidate the various enactments relating to the registration of property documents in our country. The need for registering documents was realized in India during the transition from Mughal to British era. Many of the provincial laws and their amendments of that time were then consolidated into the Registration Act, which came into force on 1st January 1908. It entails the administrative hierarchy, list of documents which can be registered, and the procedure for registering. Before the actual registration of documents is done, the parties involved must first ensure that all the documents are in place. The encumbrance certificate is to ensure that the land or property is free of any legal or financial liabilities like a mortgage. The certificate is made after an inspection of past transactions made on the property in question. A copy of all non-testamentary instruments regarding the transfer of titles must be gathered by checking the past land records of the property. A third-party real estate attorney or title search company may be hired to check the land records and issue a clear title certificate, which will assure that the title is clear with absolute ownership rights to the property owner. A sale agreement is an agreement between the buyer and the seller elaborating on the terms of the transaction and the amount to be paid. This is to be signed by both the parties and then used as a basis for the sale deed. A sale deed is printed on a stamp paper of the value of stamp duty. This value is calculated at 3 to 10% of the property value based on the state. The property value is either the actual value or the circle or collector's rate, whichever is higher. The buyer further has 3 options of payment to choose from. The sale deed is the document used as a proof of transfer of ownership from one party to the other. It is to be signed by the buyer, seller, and authorized by the registrar in presence of 2 witnesses. This transfer is only ascertained after presenting and verifying all the previously mentioned documents. Finally, this transfer must be recorded in the municipality land records as mutation of property. This completes the registration process. According to the Doing Business Report 2019, India stands at 154th rank in the world for registering and administering property. In Qatar, which holds the first rank in the property registration parameter, it takes 1 day to register the property by following one procedure. In other developing nations such as Brazil, China, Indonesia, and Chile, the time taken to register is significantly lower than in India. Cost of registration in India is also comparatively higher. The buyer has to pay a registration fee along with stamp duty. The stamp duty in India used to be one of the highest in the world. However, now, following the JNNURM scheme, stamp duty in many states have been brought down considerably. On an average, it takes about 8.4% of the total property value, and the entire process of registration takes around 58 days. Under the Registration Act, the registration of land or property is not mandatory for all transactions, including acquisition by governments, heirship partitions, property leased for less than a year, etc., which often leads to land disputes. This is further aggravated by the problem of presumptive titling. These disputes on an average take about 20 years to be resolved. Many infrastructure projects in urban areas are often delayed due to them, further leading to a shortage in affordable property. Unclear titles and other problems in registration affects the collection of property taxes, which are a very important source of revenue for the urban local bodies. Lower revenues also in turn make it more difficult for urban local bodies to provide better services to their citizens. Apart from this, most of our registration process happens offline among physical paperwork, which adds clutter to the already long process. Under the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, states have now begun generating new registrations online. But this is a recent phenomenon implemented in limited states, and we are yet to see how well this works out. All of this denotes the relative difficulty of registering land or property for ordinary people in India. How can we reduce the barriers to land registration and thereby effective maintenance of land records in our country? Is this too expensive for the common man? How do you think can this process of land registration in India be simplified further? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.